morning, Suzuki community. It's Myron at Zuk's Off-Road. Today we're going to be talking about Sidekick 1-pin carriers and what we do to convert them for 4 pins. So I'll show you. This hole was from the factory. We put this hole in and we put this hole in. And we do this on a precision jig that we have. So when you want to lock, most of the, well, all of them from 89 to 95, they've got these little tiny axles right there. That's a 22 spline. This is what's called a side gear. Well, what this customer wants is he wants a 26 spline side gear because he wants to upgrade his pre-96 to after 96. So you can see there, 26 spline is quite a bit larger. Same thing with Suzuki Samurai, 22 spline from the factory, 26 spline aftermarket gears. They never did come out with 26 spline on the Samurai. We have to get aftermarket gears where the 96, 97, 98, all that stuff, it can fit over into the earlier models and you can get 26 spline side gears. I like to use assembly lube when I'm putting my lockers together. So the first thing we do is we go ahead and lube up the thrust washer. And we drop this first gear on the side. Now that's called the side gear, so it's on the side. Now, we've removed all the spiders from here, and you want to spin that and make sure it spins nice, no binding. That one's a little stiff there, so let's find out why. Could just be a little bit of debris in here. Of course, we don't want any debris. I clean these things, so that's why I'm checking to see why. It's a little cold in here, so it could just be simply the assembly lube. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, it's very important that you understand that these 1 pins did not come with what's called a pin block. So you have to use a Suzuki genuine. Do not use the India stuff. It's different dimensions. Remember, it's not a Samurai in India. So this is your block. This is what's now going to hold the 3 pins. So now that we have the side gear in, we're going to go ahead and drop our first clamshell in. This is a Lockrite 1510. It's my favorite locker. Some of you might want to know, well, what's the difference between a 1510 and a 1512? A 1512 is for sidekicks, a 1510 is for samurais, and we've never been able to find a physical difference, so we use 1510s because they cost a lot less than the 1512. It's got to be a number thing. They make a lot of 1510s, they don't make a lot of 1512s, so they got to charge more. That's all I can think of, but I think it's the same locker in a different box. Okay, so the first thing we got to do on this particular one is we have a long pin with a pin that holds it in. So we're going to take the long pin and we're going to take the hole and line it up where it's going to have the pin. Now this is really key. You've got to put the locker where it's lines up because the pin's coming in. And this is where you're going to put in your thrust washer. Now the idea of the thrust washer is it's to keep the side gear in place but allow it to revolve. So this is the first test for how things are going, is will the pin fit into the block and give you a little bit of play where the side gear can still spin, and this one's perfect. It really is perfect. So as you can see here, I can wiggle that, which means it's not touching the thrust washer. So now I can do my first test to see how I'm doing. I flip it upside down and I hold this top gear up. You see how I can spin that? The locker can't move, but this side gear, it spins, and that's what it needs to do. Like right now it's falling down, and that's how come I have to lift it up to get the teeth separated. So far so good. We're liking that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is I've already lubed up the 2 springs. There's 2 springs in each spring, and we're going to put the springs in the holes. Excuse me, we're going to put them in the oblong hole. Sorry about that. Make sure they stay in there. The reason why I use assembly lube on this stuff is to hold it together. It's really important because we're going to be moving this locker around and we don't want any pins to fall out while we're moving it around because the pin could fall out, get in the locker, break it the first time you take off. So we want to be careful about that. Alright, now we're going to be putting in the opposing, and so what we want to do is get the springs go into the oblong, the pins go into the round holes, and so we've got this one lined up. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to drop this in there pin to pin, and we want to make sure nothing falls out. See, that's why the grease is there. Make sure nothing falls out when I put it in, and then you're going to press on it and make sure that it goes down. It's got to go down. If it doesn't go down, it might have something that fell out. We got to come out and look at it and go, yep, something got pulled out. So we're going to go again. Yep, I like that a lot. Okay, we're good there. All right, now, the next thing we're going to do is put in our side pins. It sometimes takes a little bit of a tap to get these in. We do such a good job machining these that typically it's a friction fit. Oh boy, that's nice. Good job on that one. Okay, we're going to check that again. Okay, so this is looking pretty good for our first test. So now we're going to take our top, or our cover, clean him up a little bit. We're going to put that 26 spline, whoops, let's lube him up some. He's a little dry on this one. So the whole trick is that if you cannot get that locker clamshell to separate, what you've got to do is sand the thrust washer or sand the block. They're both very hard. You're not putting them on a machine. You're sanding it with like a grinder or something. All right. Make sure we don't have any weird stuff there. Don't forget your thrust washer. That's going to hold our side gear off of there. Get him lubed up a little bit. Okay, so again, I want to make sure that this goes up and down. And now I'm going to put in my thrust washer. And this is really important. You've got to make sure that this engages. You see, it doesn't engage on this side. What that means is that my side gear needs to be shimmed more. So I get to take this all apart. I've got to pound out the pins. Now it's a little greasy. We'll get it. There we go. Okay, and we're going to take out the one clam, take out the one side gear, and we're going to add a shim. Now I did this earlier, so I know that this one's going to take 2 shims. Now what's important is that I got to get the pin back through, so that's the first thing I got to check. So we're going to go ahead and put the clamshell down. We're going to put our thrust washer in. The question is can I put the pin in? If I can't, I've got to take one of the shims out. Okay, now we're going to check our block, and it still goes. We're good. Okay. Alright, now we're going to check it again. Make sure that this separates, and it almost separates. I got one shim too much. It's a little tight. So we're going to back up, take one shim out. I think I'll take the thinnest shim out because it's really pretty close. Now we can see what the thinnest shim is, so we're going to come back with a thick shim and a thick shim. Put the side gear back in there. Make sure it rotates. Ooh, that's real nice. Put the clamshell in. Put the Suzuki Genuine square in. After the thrust washer, don't forget the thrust washer. It's easy to do, these thick thrust washers. Alright, now we're going to put this post back in so I can pound that pin in. Now what I did is I actually lifted up the locker towards me, towards this way. Okay, and then we're going to put in our side pins. Alright, we're going to put in our other clamshell locker. We're going to push it down. We like that. Okay, we're going to put in our brush washer. And we're going to put in our gear. And now our gear locks. See, it doesn't spin like it did before. So we're going to put this side cover on. And it does lay flat. So the last thing to check is, can we turn it upside down, lift this, and spin this? And it looks like we can. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bolt this on, and then we're going to go test it. So we'll show you that in just a minute. Now of course I have not kept it with the pin, nor have I put a little tack on my smalls. We're going to do that after I test it. So let's go over to the test station. Okay, so after that disaster of trying the customer's 26 blind, I put in a samurai. Now, I did take that lip off on the lathe. It is hard, so I ended up sanding it while I was rotating because the carbide just doesn't cut it very good. So we're back to our test again. So we're going to test this. So we're looking for a good click. And it clicks. It lets go. Both directions, that's what it's supposed to do. So this one tested good. So what we're going to do now is we've got to take the short pins, we've got to put a little tack on them so that they won't come out and touch the ring gear and the pinion. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to have any gear contact. So now that I have the correct gear in there, she's working no much about it. We're going to take this guy off. We're going to take this guy off. Now, I'm going to make this really simple for you. We're not going to show you this. We're just going to point it out to you. Make sure I got all my pins in there. Everything's looking good this time. So what I do is I make sure that my short pins are in all the way. And then I put a little tack lower than the square. But just a little tack right there, so if I ever have to take this apart, if I hit this with the punch, it'll break that off and that pin will come out. It's kind of captive in there, it won't come out anyways, your little tack, but that's where I do it. Both of these small pins so that they do not come out and have contact with the pinion. So anyways, that's how I do lockers. Turn on one long pin, into a 4 pin, which is really 3 pins. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 long, 2 short. You get the idea. So we're going to tack that, put it back together, ship it out Monday to the customer. Thank you to the customer for letting me do this and demonstrating it. But I am going to have to send this gear back from you to you and charge you for this other gear. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching my videos. Go wheeling, be safe, have fun, and don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. We love you guys. Thank you very much for everything. Bye.
Can we install these motors, please?